How are you doing today? This will be my part 3 of my series of my other interest, hobbies and collections. I hope you watch part 1, part 2, and hope you watch this one. So we'll get to it and I'll show you what I have. So here's the map of the United States, and on here I've drawn out where I've traveled to for art shows and a couple of places then that I said that I had been on my motorcycle. So out of the Kansas City area here, I've gone up and I double lined it, and then I decided that didn't work, but up with the double line up to there, up to Eagle Bend was where my grandparents lived. I took several motorcycle trips up that way. I mentioned that I had gone down here, down into Arkansas for the MS tour. Then my motorcycle ride going over here to St. Louis, down through here over to Dyersburg, and on down into Memphis, and then we came across the bottom there, and right in somewhere down in here is where we stayed the night at, and then went on up into Nashville to visit my friend, and then came back up across and back home. Other places showing routes I've taken for the art shows up into Wisconsin here to Milwaukee and places. I've been down and across over to Colorado, down through Kansas, down and across to Texas and Mexico, on over into Arizona, Phoenix Mesa area, on down here into Midland, Texas, been into Oklahoma City, down to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, over to Tyler, down in to Houston, down to Waco area, a little bit past it. Been across over into here, into Louisiana, over into New Orleans and to Mobile, out into the Gulf Shores, Dauphin Island, Pensacola area, over into Tallahassee, went sightseeing in between over here to Seaside and St. Augustine. Been up through Mississippi, then Alabama, been over into Atlanta. One time on vacation, I went out to the Smokies, the Sutherlands, the Cumberlands, out through there. Been out to the Salem, Greensboro for a show. Been in Tennessee for shows, up in Illinois, on up in Michigan for shows. And then the trip we took on up to Chatham and Mystic, on up through there for a couple of shows with my father-in-law. Longest I had been out was one time when I was down here in Birmingham. I did a show, waited for my father-in-law. The next weekend we went on down here to Fairhope, Alabama, and then we went over to Pensacola, and then we went over to Tallahassee. So I was out for a whole month at a time. So that shows where I've been to in my travels. And another little collection that I have, and I'll show you the top of my dresser here, but these are cigar boxes. I've got cardboard styled ones, wooden ones. I just like the graphics on them. And I'll show you the ones at the top. And another collection, things that I like, is I have these glass antique ornaments. I've been collecting them for a few years. And this is above my fireplace. And I believe I have just a little over 100 of them. And this is going into my sunroom. And then I have this doorway over here. And I just started with some glass antique tree toppers. So I only have 2 of them at the moment. But I really like the style, the colors, the different shapes. And there's another glass tree topper there. And another collection that I have is my nutcrackers. I've got all different styles, price points, you know, from the cheapy ones all the way up to the Steinbach, where, you know, paying $300 to $400 for the nutcrackers. I probably have about 4 or 6 Steinbachs. And I've collected these for a few years also. And like I said, it's a wide variety, different themes. And then the rest of the ones that I have are over here. Being on the refrigerator, they kind of move a little bit. And lastly, what I enjoy, interest, is reading. As I said, most of my stuff is science fiction. And several years ago, I probably sold not quite half my books. I decided which ones I really wanted to keep, that I had a real good interest in. I kind of wish I hadn't, but I needed some money. And this is just a startup again, because back when I was married in '91 with my wife and then kids coming back, I probably had this many or more back then. And when I moved them downstairs to my basement, it was an old house. It was just a stone basement. So they got a lot of water damage, or, you know, and they just weren't good enough to keep. So this is my reading collection, book collection. And I have a selection of the Warhammer 40,000. And then I just have some various books. I got quite several books for Hot Wheels, different editions. And of course, I don't have as much as I'd like, you know, for my gun selection. I'm working on that. And martial arts, again, my interest in that. My repair manual for my Kawasaki, and my yearbooks. I got some electrical home improvement, wood working and stuff. I also like the nose art, so I got a couple books with that. And this is by no way complete. I got Halo books. I like the books. I never got into the gaming. All right, so the room I'm going to show you now used to be my workspace area for my matting and framing for myself and my father-in-law. It just had a concrete floor, and I showed you upstairs what we did with the floor with the pennies. We put in new hardwood flooring up there. Down here, carpeted the steps, the landing, and the two rooms, a family room and a bedroom on the other side. So this is a collection that I had for many, many years. I enjoyed it. I have a lot of it. I still have more to put out. And gosh, it's probably been 8 years ago. I gave it to my son so he could have it. Never really did anything with it because renovation and everything. I went ahead and put it back out on display so everybody could enjoy it. So let me show you what I have for my son and myself. Like I said, we did the flooring here. So here's what I have. These are Hot Wheels. And I'll just pan the room quickly. And I'll walk around and then I'll do some close-ups. So when I put these up, I counted, I had 8,382 cars. I do have other memorabilia that I don't have up yet also, and that's not counting trucks, the transport trucks, like these up here. These cars are all different. They may have a different color, they may have different wheels, whether they're hard plastic or rubber versus the different rims, different color rims, different style of rims, different interior, different graphics on them. They've been made in Malaysia, China, Thailand. I have some from India. Some of the ones that were released were only released in Canada, so I have some of those. And I do have probably about 200 more at least to put out. And I started probably about in 85 collecting. In about 05, I basically stopped. It's just like, what am I going to do with all these cars? So it was a little bit after that, my son said he would take them. So basically these are all for him and my grandson. I do have red lines. There are a few Johnny Lightnings that I have because I liked what they had, but that's minuscule compared to the Hot Wheels. There's some of the memorabilia, if that's what you want to call it. I have quite a bit more of that to put out. I just need to get another case or stand to put them in. Most of these here on top, except for the ones on the front on the right, are going to be, there's just like 3 of them. Those are Johnny Lightning's. Second layer down across the front, the funny cars, race cars, are Johnny Lightning's. Everything else Hot Wheels. Red lines are here on top, cars that I bought with cars that I owned growing up. Down here, say on the back, I think from that forklift on over, are matchboxes that my brother and I owned growing up as kids. I bought basic models. I bought limited edition. I've bought sets, 100% Hot Wheels sets. And these cases here I bought from a Hallmark store that was going out of business, so they're end caps. I bought those quite a few years ago. And when I displayed them, I tried to keep like cars together, you know, like the Corvettes, the earliest Corvettes up to the newest, versus Mustangs up to the newest, Camaros. You know, I got Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Nissans. Gosh, just a wide variety. I got the trucks. There's motorcycles down here. And then I'm getting into some of the older muscle cars, different years, makes, models. I still have a few more of the case sets to put out also. And there's some more of the trucks. And these are the Hot Wheel Pro Racings. I've got several years of them. It took some time to get this all set up and lined out, opening up all my boxes from moving, gosh, moved over here 5 years ago, I think it was, maybe 6. They had blimps, they had speedboats. Mail trucks, ambulances, fire trucks, buses. Big rigs, tow trucks. And these up here are pretty much the higher end, what you might have called the adult Hot Wheels. I mean, these cost, you know, 20 bucks a piece, something like that. Bottom is 100% Hot Wheels or collector's edition type things. Higher quality there, along with a couple of these down here. And drag racers, funny cars. Just road racers, Pro Street. There's some more of their racing series cars that they had, team racing. And again, some of the higher end cars here. You got like the Hard Rock Cafe ones. I got some of the Jay Leno's Garage, different things like that. And there's the Beatnik Bandit, different customized cars that they'd put out. And it's kind of hard to see, but back here, higher end ones, these are some of the low riders. You could adjust the suspension on them. You got some VW buses, the Volkswagen Bugs. You know, cereals, put them out. I've got Little Debbie's, I've got Hormel, I got Kool-Aid. And here's even some ones, you know, from Simpsons. And on these, you can look down through the top on the glass or on the van to the back and see a little scene. You know, I've got things from Toy Story. I've got Tim Allen there. And I got Snoopy on his doghouse, Tim Allen on his mower. And there's Felix the cat. And there's different versions of some Batman cars. I got some from Walgreens, Walmart, Chuck E. Cheese. J.C. Whitney, you know, just different ones that had put out their promo cars. And when I was counting my cars, I counted cars. I didn't count trucks. So I counted the Volkswagens, but not the Carrier, you know, trucks that they're on. I got Auburns, Duesenbergs, Cords. There's some more of the trucks that I have. Carriers. And up on top here, you know, monster in the back are the monster trucks that I have. There's a lot more, but this is all I have of them. And then different ones for the Army. And then they put out a couple of series called Vintage Series, and then their 25th Anniversary Series, which they redid their first set of cars that they made in '68 and made them in several different colors. And that's what these two shells are for. Interestingly, that Mattel was started, and there was a husband and wife team. The husband started the Mattel for the Hot Wheels, and his wife was with Mattel for the Barbies. Both of them wanted different toys for children to play with, so they went one with each other, you know, boys and girls. So yeah, I've got the different gas stations, 76, there's Shell, I've got Getty, I've got Golf. There's one from Kinko's Printing, I got Ziploc, there's Chuck E. Cheese. There's Kool-Aid in here. There's Quick Trip even. I got AutoZone, Pep Boys, Cornet paper towels, Fisher Price. And up here, you know, like I said, there's Dinty Moore, there's Van de Kamps, there's the J.C. Whitney. You know, then, like I said, Little Debbie there, Hormel's. And then I have this collection here. I think I counted like 52. Let me see if I can open this up without them falling down. These I bought at KB Toys R Us. Originally they were about $50 a piece. I waited till they was on sale for $19.99 or less, and then I bought them. But like I said, I have about 52 of them. I have a card. I met this gentleman when I was in the Chicago area. And I'll show you his card here in a moment. And at that time, I wasn't too much into military surplus and different things. I wish I was, because I wish I would have talked to him, wish we had things. But this is, he was the Long Range Reconnaissance Patrol. He was a team leader. I don't know if he's still alive. That was years ago. It had been interesting to talk to him. He was several years older than me at the time, so probably Vietnam era. This guy, I have a card for this guy. This guy I met up in Yankton, and he's got a World War II trainer plane. And I wish I'd, this was right before COVID. Haven't been up there since, but he said he would take me up in his airplane. I sure wish I had a chance to go back up there and make a video of that, but this is his card. That's his plane right there. And I've got a few patches, just somehow I've had over the years, a couple of pins. So basically there's my different interest, hobbies, collections. I hope everybody enjoyed everything. And I should probably mention, I do like plants. I've had them with my homes through the years, and this is my sunroom, which is a really good place for me to have these. I have plants in other parts of the house also besides my sunroom. And I just acquired this one. It's taking some time to get it acclimated. I've got to do some more work on it to keep it healthy. Didn't realize when I bought it, but they say this is one of the harder ones to maintain. So I've got some work to do on that one. Well, that's about it. I sure appreciate you guys watching, maybe finding out something a little bit different about me versus just me showing my military surplus rifles that I have, showing me shooting and talking about them. And then I do have other interests. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate all the views, all the comments. And I hope everybody has a great day, great year. Looking forward to what's to come, and I appreciate it.